Alright, soldering, easy. Soldering iron on, temperature to 375. Sponge has been wet from the tap, so the sponge is nice and wet. We use that for cleaning soldering iron. Make sure your wire is placed somewhere that it is stable, it's pinned down, and you don't need to hold it because it might get hot. So once your soldering iron is up to temperature, this light will start flashing, and then we can start there we go. And we can start soldering. This is the solder, which melts. And we're going to melt that into our joint. And this is the soldering iron that melts the solder. The end, really, really hot. You don't want to touch that. I'll just turn this around. Process is really simple. Wipe the end of the soldering iron until it's nice and clean. Put a tiny bit of solder on the end. You might see a little puff of smoke. Soldering iron goes underneath the wire touching it, and you feed solder in from the top. Done. Wipe the soldering iron off and return it, and you've got a perfect joint. Things that might go bad is if you add too much solder, you might get like this, you might get that nice big ugly blob there. You don't want it, it doesn't look good. It's embarrassing. If this piece of solder walks down the street, people might laugh at it. Solution, clean the soldering iron, run it underneath, it will pick up the solder. As long as you do this fairly quickly, you can remove all the excess solder and the joint will be looking fabulous in no time. Once you're done, soldering iron goes away and happy days. It'll be warm, but it's finished. Also, hold the soldering iron like you hold a pen. It gives you the most control over it. Hold it in your good hand. I'm right-handed, it goes in my right hand. Solder goes in my left. Make sure you've got a nice long hand on the solder, so if it spits rosin, it doesn't burn your hand. Happy days.